And we are live. Welcome to the Horror Syndicate Up All Night. This is one of your hosts, Raymond Manzarek. No, that's not my name. RAYZOR. Raymond Manzarek was the keyboardist and organist for The Doors. Anyway, oh, my hat's on all cockeyed and shit. I've had a day. It's been a long day. Anyway, we're here tonight to kind of talk about New Year's Evil and Terror Train, a couple of New Year's Eve type movies. Well, they both take place on New Year's Eve, and one of them takes place on New Year's Eve on a train. Fun. With one of the dumbest looking masks I think I've ever seen in my life. It's like Groucho Marx and shit. I think it is Groucho, isn't it? Anyway, always with a burp or some shit. Anyway, we coming to you live tonight. If you are new to the channel or new to the Facebook, please comment, be a part of the show. We'll read your comments. We will discuss the movies. You can go over to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button here, hit the like button on the YouTube channel. Even if you have, you don't usually go to YouTube, but you have a YouTube, hit the like button because it helps the algorithm. And of course, we are Facebook Live. We are live on Tuesdays with the Supernatural Syndicate show, and they'll be doing episode 3 this week. We are live on Wednesday, and we will be doing this Wednesday will be our first show of the year for the Horror Syndicate Discourse, and we are going to count down the top 25 horror movies of 2022. What's your number one? So subscribe, like, all that jazz. So I explain this every week. We've been doing Friday the 13th movies, and we've been doing like rating the movies in 10 categories, 1 to 10 on what we think the movie is. And then we add up that score, and it comes out to what we call a slash score. We change it from slash scale to slash score, and that's the average. So 50% for Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th THS score. Before we knew what it was called. Now it's slash score. And Seth comes up with his own. I do my own. And then we combine the two, divide it by 2 because there are 2 of us, and that's what this total is. And Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter, is an 80%. So that's how we do it. And we reveal our scores after we finish talking about the movie. And let's get to it. Seth is here. He is live. I thought he was giving me the finger already, but I guess not. Oh, there it is.
What's up, man?
Not much. So you proposed something to me earlier today about doing slash scores for all the Howling movies. Now, while I'm 100% game, I'm going to take it a step further. We'll do all slash scores for the Howling movies separately, but then we'll combine them, do what we normally do, and do a Howling ranking show with our slash scores. So what do you think?
I'm fucking 100% in for that.
I knew you would be. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's hot shit. I'm just gonna warn you. A Friday the 13th fan, Jason Liz. We'll be doing that in 2 weeks. Next week we are doing Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, and then the following week, the following Friday, because we're doing this every Friday. Skip, come on, hang out with us every Friday if you'd like. Same time. Well, we'll try to go earlier. 8 in the Central, 9 in the East, and 6 on the West Coast. But yeah, we're going to be doing this every Friday. So next week, A New Beginning. The week after that, we are doing Jason Lives. And the following week, we are doing a Friday versus Friday, Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter versus Jason Lives. And we're going to see who comes out on top. Seth's going to be defending Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and I'll be defending Jason Lives. But it'd be kind of fun to mix it up and switch it. You defend Jason Lives. I'll defend final chapter.
I'm fine with that.
Let's do that. I mean, it could go either way. Both these movies are great Friday the 13th movies. In a few weeks after that, we're going to do another one. We're going to try to do these battles once every month or two. And we got a great one that kind of spawned the idea. We're going to be doing Return of the Living Dead versus Day of the Dead. Now, I did an article with one of our older writers. His name's Reverend Kruger, and we both stated our case why one was better than the other, and that's kind of what we're going to do. So do your homework, and we want you guys to vote like which one you think is better when we do these. But Day of the Dead, I defended that because I think Day of the Dead is the superior movie to Return of the Living Dead all day long. And Return of the Living Dead's fun, and I love it, but and Richard made a lot of good points. But now we're gonna flip it around. Seth's gonna do Day of the Dead. I'm gonna do Return of the Living Dead. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to do that episode. And we're going down through all the Friday the 13th movies and giving our slash scores. And when we're done with that, we're going to do a Friday the 13th ranking based on our combined slash score. So that's going to be exciting. I'm fucking stoked up for that shit. I can't wait. And apparently we're going to do just go balls to the wall, the howling slash score ranking show. I know Seth's going to be fucking, he's going to be like this all night. And then maybe like that too.
Basically.
Yeah, basically. Anyway, hello, Alex is here. How you doing, pal? Good to see you. Good to see. I can't see you, but good to see your texting. And the bromance continues. I believe Day is the better movie, but yeah, Return of the Living Dead's so much fun. It's a party movie, so it's gonna be a fun conversation. Seth, I watched Kick-Ass today, and it reminded me of you. I told my buddy that you said I look like him. You do. Well, when your hair's all long and shaggy, for sure, you do definitely look like him. So anyway, again, if you're just joining us, like everything, we are like 440 likes away on Facebook from getting to 24,000. We started the year at 18,000. We're almost up 6,000 new followers on the Horror Syndicate. It's pretty fucking amazing if you ask me. Thank you, Jamie Lee Curtis's tits. Thank you. Thank you, Sherry Moon Zombie, because they brought a lot of. What was the other one? Oh, Jessica Biel, because those posts brought in a lot of people, and I got to thank you. And now we just need to get more subscribers on the YouTube channel. So, Seth, what do they got to do?
Subscribe.
Yes.
Go to YouTube. Hit the subscribe button.
Tap that
and you
shit.
Feel instantly better about yourself.
Yeah, I will too. I'll love you. All right. So, we'll do Terror Train up first because I didn't really get a chance to watch it. I've seen it before, but I just it's kind of a drag for me. And I'm gonna let Seth kind of. You did watch this, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Seth kind of take the lead on this, and then I will reveal our slash scores and move on to New Year's Eve because I just finished watching that. And yeah, go tell them about the Terror Train.
So I've always liked Terror Train. It was one that I saw when I was first starting to get into horror. Of course, it was it has Jamie Lee Curtis in it. The guy that plays Ellis in Die Hard is in it.
Oh my god, he is.
Yeah, he's he plays Doc. He's the main asshole.
Go figure.
Yeah, and then it's directed by someone who directed. I think he directed Tomorrow Never Dies, the James Bond film. So I was intrigued by it when I was younger, so I watched it. It's not one that I watch a lot, but I rewatched it earlier, and I still dig it. I could see where some people might find it to be a little bit too slow, but I like the story. I like the misdirection of it and the reveal towards the end. I thought it was handled pretty well. There's some stuff in it that I don't care for, but I think it's overall I do enjoy the movie. I enjoy Terror Train.
Yeah, I remember. So I didn't see that one until I think it was that 2019. I think I mentioned that when I watched over 500 different horror movies in 1 year. So it came to me late, which it sounded like you got to it a little bit earlier, and earlier than me anyway. And it was just kind of okay. I mean, you're right about the pacing is slow, and I don't know. It was okay. The reveal was good, like you said, and it wasn't bad. It was kind of a different type of slasher too.
Yeah, well, it was very story focused. I felt.
Yeah. And Jamie Lee Curtis kind of was a little bit different you normally see her too.
Yeah, well, she was definitely very flawed
Yeah,
in this movie because, especially of her part in the prank in the beginning. Um, yeah,
which is kind of not exactly like a prom night type of thing, but prom night. I don't know if you've seen prom night. Those kids end up killing the kid, and it's not exactly the same, but kind of similar, which is a Jamie Lee Curtis. Uh,
yep,
but Return for straight humor with great gore, and Day for zombie drama and amazing gore, and the effects are out of control on both. Really, more so on Day. Um, but I didn't know Ellis was in that, and I just looked him up, and I don't know his real name, but it doesn't look anything like him. In the it's not just the beard.
yeah.
By the way, I got something for you. Maybe not. Oh, there it is. So this is gonna stay probably on a show. So if you say something and I like it,
Hans Booby. I mean, White Knight.
Bully. Anyway, uh, yeah. So yeah, I don't remember it like to the T or anything, but I remembered it enough to give it a slash score, and it for me it kind of goes along, kind of gets lost in a bunch with movies like how I feel about The Prowler and My Bloody Valentine and Madman. It's like movies like that kind of falls in that category. It's not one of your top tier early 80s slashers, but it's kind of middle of the road in my opinion. It's just okay. Um,
Yeah.
oh, Virginia's here. You want to play a drinking game? Boobs. Go ahead.
Um,
Sorry, I had to.
yeah. I mean, I'm someone who enjoys the movie, but I will admit it is a little forgettable.
It's in my opinion, it's very forgettable.
Yeah.
Forgettable, and it's the only thing that really kind of I memorized from that. Remember from that movie is that Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yep. Take a shot. Um, and
When I was
that's
watching it earlier, I totally forgot about the sort of the misdirection with the reveal. Because I
right.
was yeah, because like I was watching it earlier and I'm like I was thinking for sure that it was the magician,
Yeah.
and then when it got kind of closer
Well,
towards the end, I'm
he
like,
comes
oh,
off.
that's right.
It feels like it's obvious though with him. You know, like it almost
Yeah,
feels obvious that's like, well, yeah, he's a red herring for sure.
yeah.
But
But I
yeah.
kind of forgot about the fact that it was the assistant.
Mhm. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to the slash score on this one because I didn't want to spend too much time on this one since I didn't get the chance to watch it again. But Seth, you did rate this one kind of high compared to me, giving it a 60%, and I gave you the because I wasn't sure if you liked it or if you just thought it was okay. I think this is appropriate.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. I give it a little bit more credit than a lot of other slasher movies for its attempt of telling a story. It's not a perfect movie, not a perfect story, not perfect storytelling. I think the cinematography is a little dark at times.
Very dark and yeah.
Yeah, but I was entertained by it. It's a, like you said, middle of the road slasher movie. Um, it's a little forgettable, but I own it on DVD, and I'm glad I do.
Yeah, I have the Blu-ray from Scream Factory, which I believe Nate did the cover for,
Oh,
and
I
I'm
need to
glad
get
I
that.
own it because it's one of those, slashers that it's like I feel like there's so many that some do get lost in the mix, and this one's kind of forgettable, like I said, but I'm glad that I own it because, it's one that was mentioned in Scream,
Yep.
and I think that's the first time I'd ever heard of it. And I was like,
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
Terror Train. That sounds so generic. He was naming off all these other movies in Scream 2, like the Dorm that dripped blood. I was like, that's not real. Yeah, Final Exam. Like that's not real. They're all real.
Yeah.
All those movies Randy mentions are real,
Yeah.
which I thought is kind of funny. But was able to score this because I did remember it enough when I was going through the scores, and I gave it a 52, which isn't too far off of your score, but still lower. I'm tough on movies apparently because for the 2022 list, my highest rated one was like 85%, which is how I rated the movies this year. And it's okay. It's definitely check it out if you've never seen it. There's only like a handful of horror films set on New Year's, so it's definitely one to check out for New Year's. But I don't think New Year's Evil is better, but I think I have a little more fun with New Year's Evil, and I like. We'll get to it, but the overall score between the two of us is 56%. So the funny part about that is Seth and I rate it higher than Friday the 13th Part 2 or 3, and we rate it higher than Friday the 13th. Do you feel that's okay?
What was it, 56?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's okay.
Because I'm going to
I
tell
like
you
Friday
right now,
13th Part 3. I like Friday 13th Part 3 better. But
that's probably me. That's
yeah.
probably me. I
Yeah.
don't remember your score offhand. I could look it up, but that's probably me because you know how I feel about that movie.
And I would
My,
say I think I'm pretty equal with Terror Train and Friday 13th Part 1.
no, not according to your score because the Friday 13th Part 1, your score was way lower. Um, it's gonna be crazy. So like eventually when we
Well,
towards the end of the year, I'd like to do a like a top 25 of our slash score rankings. I think that'd be fun.
yeah, but I mean, keep in mind too, though, that like when we did our Silent Night, Deadly Night scores, I had the remake. I had a higher score for the remake than the original, even though
Oh,
the
but yeah,
original
yeah, I got what you're saying. Yeah.
is my preferred favorite.
Let's see. For Friday the 13th, I had let's see, where is it? Friday the 13th part 2, you had 61. That's not the right one. I had a 44%, you had a 59%. So it's pretty damn even right there as far as your slash score goes, 59 and 60.
Yeah,
Pretty close.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, yeah,
but
you're right. I mean, you can like a movie better and still have a lower score
yeah,
because, like, when we rank stuff, a lot of times we rank by how we feel about something rather than the score. But I'm trying to do something a little bit differently these days for myself because I have a hard time sometimes, ranking stuff. But anyway, that's our score for Terror Train overall, 56%. Um, it's okay. That's that's all I'm going to say about it. It's okay. I want what I want to do is get an audience score. So I'm gonna start asking. Well, actually, you know what I can do is those 5-star rankings that we used to do. I did a lot of these movies, so I could take that score and here's the audience score of the Horror Syndicate audience.
yeah,
Because I could make that into a percentage too.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, good times, good fucking times. And did you like the amount of bare breasts there were in Terror Train? Anyway,
What do you think?
New Year's Evil was this is a canon film. If anybody didn't know, so when you get into watching canon films, you got to keep your expectations super low. And I saw the Golan and Golabla, whatever Golobulus, which is a GI Joe character. I saw their names on it, but today I'm like, oh, I didn't realize this was a canon film, and I was like, that makes total sense now. So what? This was this your first time watching it, or?
Yes, yep. It was titles where I thought that I watched it
Mm-hmm.
way back in the day because there was a lot of especially slashers that I rented all at one time and they all kind of blended together.
Yeah.
But when I was watching this one earlier as well, I was like, no, I don't think I've ever seen this one before, so this is the first time for me.
Yeah, this again, 2019 was the first time I saw this, and this one came out in 1980. I think Terror Train was 80. Was it 80 or 81?
80, I think.
Yeah. So a couple of 1980s New Year's Eve movies. New Year's Evil. So I watched these both on New Year's Eve. I know for sure, and going into 2020, and that's probably why there was a pandemic. No, and I remember liking this one better because of and for anybody who's never seen this movie, it's first of all it's on Prime and it's on Tubi and Terror Train is on Shutter, but there's always a spoiler alert in effect with any of these movies that we do because we're going to talk about what happens in the movie. And they're fucking this is a 42-year-old movie. So the thing I liked about this one was first of all we knew who the killer was immediately, not immediately, but we knew who it was. Even though they still kind of tried to use the son as like because his mom was mistreating him and blah blah blah. But like you see his face, like it's close ups, but you see his face and he uses that voice thing, which I wonder if Scream got the idea from this, which would be a hoot. But he's evil. And he says he's going to make a kill at midnight or whatever, and come midnight on the East Coast, he kills, and so they think that the killer was in New York or wherever. And then they're like, okay, get Chicago alerted. We're he's going to kill somebody else, at midnight in Chicago. But what they didn't know, he was actually still on the West Coast, but just killing at the turn of the midnight, which I thought was kind of cool. He was killing at midnight in different places because it really, if he did that, it threw everybody off because they're scrambling to call Boulder, Colorado, and I thought that was kind of a cool little point to it. And he mutilated their breasts and he's got mommy issues or whatever. I thought some of that stuff was kind of cool. The end was kind of stupid, but with the we knew it was him and he gets to his wife because it's like I knew that's where it was going. I didn't know if you could tell that that was going to be the husband.
It was so obvious right from the beginning.
Yeah, it was. But that's it's a canon film, so it's I don't know. I liked it the first time I saw it, and I thought it like the lead actress. She reminded me a little bit of Caroline Williams. Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw Stretch.
Yep.
In a way, kind of had the look, and I like that she was dancing with the bands, and he kept calling. I'm like, what is this show that they're doing? Like the crazy guy can just get right through the line. But I don't know. It was okay. It's not like the best movie ever, and it's another one of those. If it didn't have the title New Year's Evil, I think it would be completely forgotten. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think it's kind of a fun movie, for sure. It was completely obvious, with that character that it was going to be the husband slash father. But I really do enjoy the concept of this person killing at each different time zone of the new year. I thought that was kind of cool. I feel like this movie definitely had like a lot of potential. Like I kind of wished, yeah, I kind of wish the execution was a little bit better, but still not bad. It was still pretty fun. I actually liked the actor that played the husband there. And I like the idea too that he was going around and he was like putting on different disguises and
that mustache.
yeah,
He was a priest at one point. Yeah,
yeah.
And then he ends up in a tracksuit.
Yeah,
yeah. Which I love the end when he goes out the window and it's the dummy. The dummy is so bad.
yeah.
Flying. It's like there's two different shots of the dummy falling, and it's like, can't they figure this out? Like I've seen so many bad dummy falls in like horror movies in like between 1972 and 1982 or something like that. Mostly in Italian movies. There's a great one in Don't Torture a Duckling, and a movie called Nightmare City, where this girl falls from the top of a Ferris wheel. It's and she hits like all the bars on the way down. It's really good. And the one, oh no, there's another one from a movie called Doctor Butcher MD. It's a Italian movie where this guy he kills himself. He jumps out the window, and as he's falling, his arm falls out of his socket, and his arm falls off. And I showed that to Reynolds because he loves watching a good dummy fall, and he laughed his ass off. He's like, "How did his arm fall off?" Okay, good question. But anyway, yeah, New Year's Eve was okay. I didn't think we'd spend much time on these. I thought we could do some bullshitting after we're done talking about these because when I was watching, I was like, "What are we going to talk about?" After watching that, and I was like, Terror Train's the same way. Where Friday the 13th, we could talk about for fucking a full solid hour without even taking a breath. But these movies, like, I just wanted to do it for the holiday,
Yeah.
Like we even did better with Silent Night Deadly, although we covered 5 movies. If you didn't watch that show, we ranked the Silent Night Deadly Night movies. That was a good time in my opinion. That's on the YouTube channel. But let's do the slash scores and talk about other stuff because I kind of want to talk about some of the horror movies coming out next year. Even though I think we may do a most anticipated show on the Discord show. I don't know. I got to yawn. I didn't get very much sleep last night. I've been on the run since about like 12:30 yesterday. Anyway, we gonna do slash scores.
Yeah.
And talk about some fun stuff.
Sounds good.
Here's yours. 55%. I rounded up because it's at 53.5, but I always round up when there's a point. So 54%.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, but it's forgettable. I'm struggling to remember certain things in it even now, even though I watched it earlier.
I mean, the only things that really stand out are the time zone thing.
Yeah.
The son putting that fucking sock on his head or whatever. Stocking.
Yeah.
Putting sunglasses on. It's like, what's wrong with this kid? You think he's going to commit suicide? He just got like the role of a lifetime in a movie. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. I will have to say though, my favorite part about this movie is the song, the main song in it. It got stuck in my head for most of the day today because it was
not as bad as Babel, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's catchy, man.
Yeah. That song is. I knew it, like as soon as Jared asked for songs, I was like, Seth's gonna put that Babel song from The Howling 2. I guarantee it. And I saw it. I was like, yes. I knew it, and I'm happy about it. Anyway, yeah. So 54%. So, I mean, overall, did you like Terror Train better? I know the scores differ because you gave Terror Train slightly higher score was a 60% to 54. But which one do you think you like better?
I like Terror Train better.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Terror Train is a little bit better from story perspective. I really appreciated the misdirection of it. I think the acting is a little bit better. New Year's Evil is fun, is for what it is, but it's extremely
gimmicky name.
It's extremely predictable from the start. And the
instant replay.
Yeah, the whole motivation is a little wonky to me.
Yes, I thought I liked this a lot more than I do. Because, like I told you, I bought that Blu-ray a few months back, and I was like, man, I'm excited. I got this Kino Lorber Blu-ray. And, it looks really nice, though. It sounds really good. Because I know the Amazon version has a has at the end of sentences, if it ends with an S, it has that sound, and
Yep.
it's really bad. It didn't sound too bad on the Blu-ray, But yeah, after rating it, I was like, oh, I guess I think really lowly of this. I gave it a 40%. And that's got to be one of the lowest scores I've given a movie so far. Because Friday the 13th 3 was, I think, my lowest rated one of the Friday the 13th anyway, at 44%. I think one of the Silent Night Deadly Nights was lower. Yeah, Garbage Day was 34%. So this is the second lowest rated movie for me. And like I said, I'm kind of surprised because I thought I liked it a lot more than I do. And just watching it, I was like, why did I buy this? Like I buy a lot of
Yeah.
horror movies because I like to have them. And this one, I was like, why did I buy this movie? I'm never gonna watch it again. More than likely, I may, but it's like I don't know, man. It was kind of a drag watching it this time around. Like I guess I had fun with it the first time, because of the time zone thing, the stupid son with the pantyhose on his head, and I like the lead actress a little bit, and but like you're right, it was obvious when he picked those girls up at the bar. It was so lame.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to yawn. And then the he likes dancing with the nurse and like kissing on her already. I'm like, that doesn't that in the real world this does not happen. I don't care how charming you are, and it happened in this movie, and they find her in some kind of locker. I don't know. I'm disappointed in this movie. I would have rather talked about Friday the 13th Part 5 tonight than these, but we'll save that for next week. We've got an overall score of 47%, and whatever. It's fair, I guess. It's by no means our lowest rated movie score between the two of us because I think Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is 34%. Actually, I'm sorry. Our overall was 34% for Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Mine was 31, yours was 36. But I don't know, man. I guess I didn't like it as much as I thought I did, which is a shame. Not really. Who cares?
Yeah, well, I was kind of wondering today. I was debating in my head. I'm like, is this a movie that I should buy and maybe watch around this time, like again, or am I just gonna forget about it in a couple of days? And I don't know.
I
I
think
don't know if I
like
should give it another shot, but
maybe give it another shot in a few weeks, but like I think if we decide which is better. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm just tired today. Which one is better between Terror Train and New Year's Evil? I think for a New Year's Eve horror movie, because I know there are a few other ones. I'm gonna say, even though I didn't get to watch it this time, I think Terror Train might be the better of the two uh, New Year's Eve horror films. I mean, if anybody's out there watching and you've seen these, let us know which one do you like better, Terror Train or New Year's Evil. I think you might agree with me.
it, it's it was kind of funny because it's like there's one of these movies uses the holiday, uses New Year's Eve as like part of its theme or part of
Mm,
its plot, and the other one just happens to be set on New Year's Eve. But
yeah,
I prefer the one that's just set on New Year's Eve
yeah,
out of the two.
yeah. Same.
That's right.
I had the other one loaded up. The I don't like what you're saying to me one. It's just this. Anyway, yeah, I think if you're gonna watch a New Year's Eve horror movie, check out Terror Train. It's on Shutter, or is it on Shutter? Is that what we said?
Yes, it's on Shutter.
I think it's on Tubi also, and there's a remake of it on Tubi as well. It's Tubi exclusive, which I have no desire to watch.
I didn't even know there was a remake.
Came out this year. It's a 2022 movie, so we could put it on our ranking if we really wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have time to watch
I
another
just don't want
2022 movie.
Firestarter to not be the worst horror movie of the year. So I'm gonna not watch the new Terror Train because Firestarter was terrible. If you like Firestarter, let me know in the comments because I am going to block you from the Horror Syndicate. And we're talking about the new Firestarter. Actually, did you like Firestarter? Oh, you did? Okay.
I don't see how anyone could like the new Firestarter. It was such a
I know. I
soulless
mean,
movie.
it was terrible. Seth, like when he was giving us his review, this is Seth giving us his review. He was fucking karate chopping and
Dude, I was thankful that I got COVID because like I planned on going
wow.
I planned on going to the theater that weekend to go see it because I read the book right before in preparation, and
You watched the old one too?
yeah, and I watched the old one, and and of course like 2 days before, I got really sick with COVID, and of course it was on Peacock at the same time, so I'm like,
Mm.
fuck, I'm not gonna be able to go to the theater to see it right away, and I was excited to watch it, and I watched it, and I'm just like laying on the couch sick, and I'm just like thankful for being so sick because it saved me from going to the theater to watch that piece of shit.
The thing that kills me about that movie though is the trailer actually looked pretty decent. And I was like, oh shit, they're gonna make Firestarter look like a good movie for once. Because the original movie's not very good either. It's got a
No, it's
little bit of charm to it, but overall it's not a very good movie.
yeah. Well, I mean, even the book isn't one of Stephen King's greatest books.
Yeah. It's just there's like the I remember watching Firestarter as a kid and I the only thing I remember is the end when she starts blowing shit up, you know?
Yeah,
So like I guess after her dad dies.
yeah.
But I don't know. It's the original movie's not that great. The new one is just man. It was a big disappointment, early disappointment too, for because we were just barely in the year when that came out, and I too watched it on Peacock because I was like seeing reviews pop up and people, I just wasted $15, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go ahead and watch it on Peacock, and I did, and this was coming on the heels of me writing the Entity review that I wrote earlier this year. Which, if you've never seen the Entity, watch it. It's really good. Barbara Hershey is a powerhouse in that movie, and there's some effects I don't know how they did in 1982. Like it's about a ghost who sexually assaults her, and there's a scene where you could see it like grabbing her boob, and you can see the indents on her breast, and I'm like, holy shit, that's like really good effects for back then. And it's a good movie though. So I wrote that article review, and it kind of got me coming back to uh, watch or wanting to do reviews. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna, you know what? I bet all these people that are bitching are just bitching about Firestarter. I'm gonna review it. Nope. I lost all motivation to write a review for it after that.
The best thing about that movie was John Carpenter's score. That was it. That was the only saving grace of the remake.
You enjoyed the, oof.
Ooh, oh,
And
ouch.
unfortunately, I will say that because of recent events, this is no more. Um,
Rest in peace.
no, I mean, I don't care if people like whatever they like. I like some really bad horror movies. You know, there's a movie called Hell of the Living Dead. Watch that. They play scenes from like stock footage from a nature video in it. This guy puts on a gas mask and it pulls his hair down over his face, and he starts running with his hair in his face in the gas mask. There's a scene where all of a sudden the Goblins Dawn of the Dead theme pops up. You're like, what? You know, and then there's another scene where this they go to like Africa or something, and this white woman says, I need to blend in with the natives. She takes her shirt off and just paints like circles around on her boobs, and that's it. And she's gonna blend in with the natives. It's yeah. So I've seen some really bad movies. So, but Firestarter was dreadfully boring, and God, that's how many times have I mentioned boobs now? Because that was another one. Shot. Yep, she's on it. Shot. Um. Anyway, I mentioned that when I was out to breakfast with my friend Rachel today. Oh, hey, I'll be right back. I think Helena was with her friend. I think they're home. Okay. Talk.
Well, I appreciate the heads up there. So, how's everyone doing? See anything good lately? My copy of Halloween Ends came in the mail today. So I'm gonna give that another shot sometime this weekend. Yeah. Let's see here. Luke says, "Sup, Seth? What's up, Luke? How you doing?" This is spontaneous. I did not expect to be left on this screen here. There he goes. He's coming back.
Hi. Helene wants to say hi. She just got back from a birthday party. Look what shirt she's wearing. One of the original Horror Syndicate shirts. Right, go play. Go ahead and let that idiot out. All right.
I have to keep this open then because I'm gonna go. Oh, okay. I get it.
All right.
Never heard of that.
What? Playing Witcher 3 and drawing? How can you play a game and draw at the same time? That's talent.
Well, because Luke is actually one of those AI art people.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like 20 fingers.
I saw. Did you see that thing I sent you? It was from Star. I'm not a huge Star Trek guy, but Data is an AI.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And he painted a picture of Spock, and his fingers were all jacked up.
Yeah.
AI art. I thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to talk about those movies anymore. We're done with them. What you got? Anything else you want to talk about? Yeah, I love Megadeth, man. I don't know if Rust in Peace is my favorite album or not, but it's up there. I really love Peace Sells. That's one of my favorite albums. My favorite song is The Conjuring, but Rust in Peace, Polaris that was one of the first songs I ever heard, and man, I fucking love that song so much. Every time I hear it, crank that shit up and like tell my son, listen to this song, it's badass. Anyway, and then Symphony of Destruction came out, and that one kind of wasn't as good because Sweating Bullets is kind of a shitty song. Sweating Bullets. Let's see, New Year, New You on Hulu. Is that a horror movie? I'll check it out because we're doing our top 25 horror movies of 2022 on Wednesday's show, our first show for THS Discourse in the 2023 new year. And I'm up to 45 different horror movies from you. What did you do? 22?
Yeah, I only did 22.
Yeah, and I told Nate about, if you think Prey is a horror movie, put it in there. And you have Prey on your list. It's not on my list, so I can't tell you how to make your list. That's not how a list is made, and he didn't need to take those out.
I put it on there out of spite.
Fuck you, didn't. Oh, well, hold on. I didn't do that right. There you go. No, I mean, it's if you think it's a horror movie, fine. I don't see it as a horror movie, and it's not listed anywhere as a horror movie that I could tell. That's why I took it off my list. I liked it. Prey was awesome. It was a really good movie. It was a return to form for Predator. And Predator I've never really looked at as a horror movie. I thought Predator 2 was more of a horror movie than Predator was.
Oh, Predator 2 is the most horror of the franchise.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they get less horror after that. The newest one, was it Predators? Or was it The Predator?
The Predator.
Yeah, that one was goofy as fuck, man. I just couldn't get in with that one. But yeah, we don't have a Halloween movie to look forward to in 2023. This is different because going into 2020, we had a new Halloween movie to look forward to for 3 years until they canceled the 2020 and pushed it back to 2021, which really bummed you out. I remember that. But we do have a new Scream to look forward to in March, right? So yep. I'm looking forward to that. I know if V was here, he'd be looking forward to that.
Oh, he's probably got a raging boner for it.
Well, I'm sure. And then we've got there was another one that a sequel that's come. Oh, Evil Dead Rise.
Yep.
is coming out. We haven't really seen anything except for some publicity stills from that, and that's about it. Which to me, it's like, don't show a trailer. I want to go into the theater not knowing a fucking thing. Like the trailers didn't ruin Evil Dead 2013 for me, but it'd be kind of fun not to see a trailer because you've done that a couple times.
Yeah.
What was it? Barbarian was one of them, and
Yep.
what was the other one? There was another one this year.
I did that with let's see,
Pearl.
X Pearl, Barbarian, The Northman. I thought there was something else I did it with too. But it's been a great time doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially Barbarian.
Barbarian was so much
I
fun.
didn't know what the fuck to expect with that one.
Hold on one sec. Get out of here, you piece of shit. Not my daughter, the dog. Okay. Whoever told you that was wrong. Yeah, High Tension for me was a blind buy. I bought it at Blockbuster. Was doing that when they sold previously viewed DVDs. I went up there and bought The Hills Have Eyes remake, High Tension, and something else. I think it might have been Hostel. It was like 3 for $10. So I got all of those 3 for $10. I'm pretty sure it was Hostel because I think that came out around that time, didn't it? Same time ish.
Yeah, I think so. Like 05.
If that was all
05,
three, that's a hell of a good three movies to buy because I watched them right when I got them home and I'm like, holy shit, none of these are letting up. No, they're all fucking badass movies. I was like, this is one of the best, DVD horror hauls I've ever had. It definitely one of my more memorable because I liked all of them, and so it was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the Hills Have Eyes remake in the theater when it came out.
Did you really? Oh man,
yeah, I loved it.
That's one of those rare movies that is way better than the original. Not just a little better, way better than the original.
Yeah,
this is my opinion, of course, but I think
I agree because like
all of us, wasn't it?
I'm like I'm pretty critical on like early Wes Craven. Like I didn't really care for his first two films all that much. Like the original Hills of Eyes, it was good, but it's just nothing I really loved. And when I was sitting in the theaters, especially when it got to the third act, and it floored me. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Then of course right after that, then I went and I bought High Tension. I bought it blind on DVD, and I love that one too.
Yeah, we did shows on both, and High Tension. Like I didn't know what to expect with that one. I just thought, and this is no bullshit. I needed another movie for the three, and I'll never forget that. And I saw the case, and she's sitting there. She's holding that block of wood with the, the razor wire around it. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? And then on the back, she's holding that saw thing. I'm like, oh, this looks intense. I bought it, and I'm glad I did. It was, and I know that was like, I think that's Nate's favorite movie of that 2000s decade. So yeah, I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, I think it's good stuff. Better than the original, and I think all of us agreed at the time. Whenever we did the show, that was better, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when we had Keith on.
Yeah. Yeah. Old Keith, because his grandfather took him to see it when he was like 7 years old in the theater. Yeah, I was going to pull up my list if you don't mind for the movies I've seen this year and kind of go down them because I know you've seen go down on them. Yeah, and kind of go through what I've seen because I know that some people are kind of talking about it a little bit here, if you don't mind.
I don't care.
I don't give a fuck. So I ranked all these as I watched them, but I stopped doing that because it became a pain in the ass. But the last couple movies are not ranked that I watched. So if you can see, this is my Facebook page. The last few I watched are Mr. Harrigan's Phone, which is slated as a horror movie, and holy shit, it's not. It was a good movie overall, but not a horror movie. Saloon was on Shudder. I watched that the other day. It was okay. The Sadness is one of the goriest movies I've ever seen. Mostly just blood, and some rape is involved in there, which is kind of gross. The Hatching movie was excellent. It moved right into the top 10 for me. For this, did you get to watch that yet?
No.
You should watch it, in my opinion. Okay, so 41 is Firestarter. Terrible movie, right?
Oh yeah.
Number 40 is 1031 Part 3. Not many people will see that one. I saw a movie called Are You Alone on Shudder. Nate told me about that one. It's boring as fuck. 38 is Resurrection. It's got Tim Roth in it. It was okay. Not much horror in my opinion. Jared suggested what Josiah saw. I couldn't finish it. It was so slow. I had to come back and watch, and I'm like, I don't like this movie. 1030, yeah, it's our VHS 99 is on this low on my list. It's just okay, if anything. Revealer was bad. Grim Cuddy was okay. It would be good for like preteens to watch. Like I think your daughters might like that movie, Seth. It's more like a Slender Man type of thing. Choose or Die was fun on Netflix. Speak No Evil was boring. The Innocents is overrated. Cursed, you like Curse.
I did.
I think you have ranked it your number 2 spot, don't you?
It's number 3 on my list.
Number 3. It was another one of those that was very slow. It had really great effects, but something about it, man, I couldn't get it, you know?
Oh, it's a very slow burn movie,
Mhm.
for sure. But
she keeps calling me a dick, and the Supernatural Syndicate is under my umbrella. Anyway, Mandrake was pretty decent, and a lot of these are foreign movies. Watcher, it was okay. Who Invited Them was fun. It's about two people who are or party crashers that nobody knows who they are, and they will not leave these people's house. Interesting movie on Shudder. The Barn Part 2 is an independent movie that nobody will watch. Glorious was on Shudder. That was fun. It's about a glory hole in a bathroom, and the voice on the other side of the glory hole is J.K. Simmons. It's pretty good. Deadstream. A lot of people like that one. I thought it was okay. The actor was quite annoying in my opinion. Halloween Ends is a movie. The only reason it ranks this high for me is because it's filmed well, acted well, and that's about it. I really am not sure how I feel about this movie overall, but it's there. I know it's been out for about a week on Blu-ray. Still haven't bought it yet. My Best Friend's Exorcism is a good kind of teenage horror film about these teenage girls, kind of a coming of age story. It's pretty good. My daughter's favorite horror movie of the year, by the way. The Invitation. It is a vampire movie. It is not as bad as people say. I liked it. Just watched it. Dashcam is fucking outrageous, and I suggest. Did you watch that one?
Negative.
Seth is the dick. Oh,
of course.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Dashcam's a lot of fun. I'd give that a shot if I were you. Christmas Bloody Christmas was really shot really well, but it was kind of a typical slasher with a little bit of a twist. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, was the first horror movie we all watched of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's either this or Scream 5.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre came first, I think.
Did it?
I think.
I think it did. I can't remember. Because I remember thinking to myself, well, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm looking at some of the releases and I'm like, that's something slow year for horror. And here I am 45 movies later. Number 17 is Allegoria, which I really like. It's an anthology type movie. It's shot really well, acted really well, and it's not what you expect. And Moloch is one that you suggested to me.
Hmm.
Um, what did you think of it overall?
I really like Moloch. It was
Kind of
good.
a surprise,
Yeah,
surprising movie.
it was a good slow burn movie,
Mhm.
and I think it really paid off at the end.
Yeah, the ending was great actually,
Yeah,
but even the build up and like it was almost like a guessing game. Also,
yeah.
so there was a lot to that one I really liked. Dark Glasses is the newest Argento movie, and it's not bad. It's kind of a giallo, a return to giallo, which was nice to see. Maybe it'll kickstart the giallo, whatever again. That'd be nice. Sissy really surprised me, and I think after my ratings, this came higher. It was like the first half an hour or so is bullshit. It's like fuck this movie, and then oh my god, it gets really fucking good. I absolutely suggest it to anyone. Um, it's a pretty damn good movie. I liked it a lot, and it was very unexpected. And the end, yeah, yeah, exactly. Moloch left you with chills. And the end of Sissy, you're like, what the fuck? And so we get to The Seed, which was just a fun movie that I liked. That was on Shutter. This is actually what kickstarted me watching all these. I saw the trailer for it on Shutter, and I was like, oh, this looks fun, and it was fun. Terrifier 2, yeah. Number 11, Smile. And Smile, like the trailer got me, and I was like, "Did you see Smile?"
I didn't. I really wanted to, but I just never got around to it.
It's not bad. It kind of has an It Follows vibe,
Yeah,
and which I
that's what I
like it.
gathered. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm gonna eventually buy that one. Hellbender, you watched that one, didn't you?
yeah.
What'd you think of Hellbender?
I wasn't really a big fan of it.
I
I
like.
felt like it was like it had a lot of potential. It started off great. The opening scene was really cool, and I feel like by the time that it got really interesting, then it just ended.
Can you hear the dog?
No.
Good. She's whining.
Okay, I could hear now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't know why she's whining. I guess everybody's upstairs and I'm in here and she's in there by herself.
I know how
Okay.
that is.
She does that shit in the middle of the night and wakes everybody up. I hate this dog. I don't hate dogs. Just this one. This one sucks. I saw Smile in the theater, and Reynolds and I. The best thing about Smile when I saw it in the theater was there were genuine reactions, by the crowd, which was great. I love that. They were like jumping and whoo shit. I have not seen Piggy yet. I don't know where to see that though either, and it just doesn't look like it appeals to me. Number 9 is Off Season, which is highly underrated. Seth, that's another one you pointed me towards.
Yes, definitely. Very very Lovecraftian in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah. It's a good movie, man. Jocelyn Donahue acts her ass off in that movie, in my opinion. I love her though, so she can do no wrong, and she's got really small boobs. Am I frozen or is Seth frozen? Seth, your screen's frozen. Is it you or me?
Okay. Yeah, it was
Okay.
it was just went all black and was just doing the circle thing.
Mm. Yeah. Luke mentioned The Void. I love The Void. The Void's got Carpenter elements. It's got Clive Barker elements. It's got Stephen King elements. It's got a little bit of everything, and the practical effects are amazing.
Even the end reminds me of that Italian film you like. What
Oh
was it?
yeah, yeah.
The Beyond.
The Beyond, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So it's got some Fulci in there too.
Yeah.
Number 8, Nope, which fell on my list because I watched it again and then I forgot that I had fallen asleep in the theater watching it. It's okay.
I
I
didn't care
think,
for it.
yeah, I think we had talked about it a little bit. I think the fact that Jordan Peele was behind it, it gives it a higher score because I do think Jordan Peele is very popular, and there's certain people who um, really enjoy his filmmaking, which I do. But this one just like I don't know, man. It's just not that great to me. Number 7 is Fresh, which I highly recommend on Hulu. Winter Soldier's in it. Pearl was a good movie. I like Pearl quite a bit, especially the last act of the movie was so fucking good.
Awesome.
What's that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that build up also was really great, and I love that it was kind of like Technicolor looking. I mean,
Yeah.
Ty West, man, he's like I watched House of the Devil back in '09 or 2010, and I loved it. And I'm like, man, and Jocelyn Donahue again. And I was like, this Ty West, man, he can fucking make a movie. And then I went out of my way to see The Innkeepers, which I think came out either right before or right after. And I liked that, not as much, but then a movie called Sacrament came out. He did a segment in the first VHS, which I really, really enjoyed. And I was like, I'm going to follow this guy because I think he's going to do some big stuff. And then, X comes out and then Pearl comes out, both in the same year. And X is number 5. And I like X quite a bit. Fun slasher.
Oh yeah.
And Pearl and X are wildly different too.
That's what I love about both of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, absolutely. Scream 5 actually moved up on my list after I had my second viewing. The first time I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. And then Ty is great. You guys buddies? Just joking. But I love Scream 5. I mean, the only thing I really don't like about it is that it's called Scream. That's stupid. Call it Scream 5. Call it what it is. It's pretty good, man. How much did you like it? Where'd you put it on your list?
I think it's in my top 10. I enjoyed Scream 5 quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not my favorite in the series. It's I think either my third or fourth favorite. But it's a solid movie. And I can't wait for the new one.
I think it's a good addition to the series, and it's better than the third movie. I think. I mean, the thing about the Scream movies, and I'm not lying when I say this, I like them all 5 of them so far.
Oh, same here.
Yeah.
Scream 3 is my least favorite.
Yeah.
But it is totally fucking watchable.
No, I like that Courtney Cox is kind of the lead in this one, in 3, and she really kind of carries the movie because Sydney, she's off in her cabin by herself. That's one of the things I didn't like were the dream sequences with her mom. But it kind of delves into the backstory a little bit more. And back in 2000 when it came out, I was like, "Ooh, this is fantastic." Even though later on it's like, come on, But overall, I like Scream 3, and I still like it. I like Scream 4 a lot more than I ever thought I would.
Yeah, the only thing I'm gonna call bullshit on with Scream 3 is there's no way it was just one fucking killer. There's no way it was just Roman.
No, and so yeah, like I think I definitely would like to have a Scream theory show at some time because I've got some theories that it wasn't Roman only and there was another killer, and I have a feeling that person's going to show up in this movie and they're like, I helped your brother, or I helped Sydney's brother, or whatever, because Sydney's not supposed to be in this one. Anyway, The Black Phone was number 3 on my list. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw that in the theater.
Oh, you liked this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it Reynolds has been my theater horror movie buddy, my son, this year, and we both walked out. Man, that was a good one. He really enjoyed it. He's like, "Can we buy that when it comes out?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, we went to go see it open at night. And
Oh, you did?
what's that?
You did?
Yeah. And it was much better than I thought it would ever be.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
I watching it again because I showed it to the kids not too long ago. There are some holes in it. There are some definite potholes in it, but I thought it was a really good movie. Yeah.
I think they nailed the time period. I liked Ethan Hawke's character, and you kind of didn't know what to expect from him because he was the grabber, and he was very nice and trying to give the kid food, but what was the catch? Like there that like you kind of it's another one of those that kind of had you guessing. And I know Nate said, "Oh, we've seen this type of stuff before," but I'm like, I don't know, man. This one was not the same as some of these other movies with kids. I think this was a little bit different, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, and what I've been saying since I saw it is like the little girl in this movie is like it's like the version of the little girl from Psycho Gorman if she had a soul.
That was one of ours from last year, Psycho Gorman. I watched that movie. I enjoyed it up to the last act, and I was like, "This okay? I don't like this movie," because it's been sitting in my Amazon cart for over a year now, and I refused to buy it.
First time I watched Psycho Gorman, I laughed my ass off.
Oh, there's a lot of good stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Second time I watched it, it didn't have quite the same effect. But I do enjoy it. Especially the little girl. She's such an asshole.
She just keeps like people talk about. I know you didn't see Dash Cam, but how annoying the chicken Dash Cam was, and being a crazy right winger, like a far right winger, and how annoying she was. But man, that little girl gets worse and worse throughout the movie. Talk about power trip, man.
It's hilarious though.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't handle it. One of my sons was the grabber. That's cool. That's really cool.
Dude, my oldest daughter, after I showed her, it was funny because when the Black Phone came out, it was on a streaming service, right? I yelled up for the girls to come down for a family movie, and they're both like, "Oh, do we have to?" Because they're nose deep in their fucking phones. Right. So we made some popcorn, and they were down here, and they're all like, "Ugh." And then we watched the movie, and they both fucking loved it. And my oldest daughter, she does like a lot of like fan fiction stuff, and she's been like nonstop doing like fan fiction of like the Black Phone stuff.
Awesome, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, man, because I have to go through the same thing with my son. Helena, she's down for anything. My 9-year-old daughter, she's down for anything. I just watched. I don't remember what I just watched, but she sat and watched the whole thing with me, and it was The Glass Onion, the Netflix Ryan Johnson movie, and I thought it was a good movie, but I didn't think she'd be interested in it. She sat and watched the whole damn thing with me and kept guessing, what was going on, and she's like, I like this type of movie. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of horror movies like this. Yeah. So she's like, well, we gotta watch them. I had to go buy Knives Out the next day because she wanted to watch that. Anyway, my number 2 for the year is Hellraiser. I think that changed with the rankings. I think the Black Phone is the number 2 and Hellraiser's 3. I loved Hellraiser. It was a breath of fresh air after, and I'm with you where I don't think all the Hellraiser movies are terrible, but I know that none of them were to this standard or this quality probably since 2000 with Inferno. And that wasn't even supposed to be a Hellraiser movie. And I know this one's your number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Hellraiser was great. It was a breath of fresh air. Am I wrong in saying that?
Oh, it totally was. Like, I'm a huge fan of the franchise to begin with. And they changed some of the lore up. And I understand where some people may not like some of the changes that they made. But story-wise, it was solid. Direction, it was solid. I love the fact that they brought back the Christopher Young score.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that when I heard that, I
severely missed that. Like they have not had that in the franchise since I think Bloodline was the last one to use a version of his score. And yeah, and not to mention too, like one of the major complaints I see about the new Hellraiser is about the main character not being very likable.
I like her; she's fine, but she's very flawed.
Right, that's the thing with the Hellraiser movies is that the focus isn't so much on the Cenobites, it's on these sort of morally corrupt characters, and she had a story arc. I mean, I appreciated the fact that she started off as very flawed, and then by the end she had to learn about how all of her actions really kind of fucked everything up. You know.
Yeah, and I really liked it. I liked it so much that I had to buy a bootleg copy.
Yeah, me too.
I needed it for my collection. And my number one is another one I might have to get a bootleg because I don't think they're going to bring out a Blu-ray for it. Is Barbarian, and God, it's this. I don't remember if I saw a trailer or not for it, but I remember like thinking to myself, it was coming out, and I'm like, I don't really know much about this movie, but it's like Barbarian. What could this be? And me and Reynolds went and saw it, and we were smiling ear to ear coming out of the theater on this, and he's just like, "That was a good horror movie," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, right? That was fun. It's kind of edge of your seat type of fun you want in a horror movie. There was fun and terrifying, all wrapped into one. The lack of boobs. Well, no, there were boobs. It was the old lady's boobs, but whatever. Just waiting for. I want Virginia to be completely shit faced by the end of the night. But yeah, I love Barbarian, man. I think you saw it first out of all of us.
No,
But
I saw it way later because
the Nate saw it first.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
I kept seeing that a lot of people were talking about it, and I kept checking my local theater to see if they had it, and
Yeah.
it took a while before they finally got it here. But I didn't watch the trailer for it, so I didn't know what to expect. All I knew was that it was directed by Zach Kreger, who was one of the guys from The Whitest Kids You Know, which is one of the most hilarious fucking sketch comedy shows I've ever seen. So, and then when I went to go see it in the theater, like, because I didn't know what to expect, like, there was so many twists and turns in that movie.
Yeah.
I wish they did a little bit more with Richard Brake's character, but
yeah, that was kind of just tossed in there. It felt like a little bit.
Yeah, and there was so much potential with it too. Like when they went back into the past to show.
Now it makes me wonder if there's going to be a potential prequel sequel with maybe delving deeper into that, because you don't put a guy. I mean, Richard Brake's not a huge name or anything like that, but he's well known in the horror community, and you don't get a guy like that to play a role like that without giving him a little bit more to do, because he was essentially in like one or two scenes. And yeah, I would like to see more. It was weird. It was kind of jarring because you see the house, and then all of a sudden it's a flashback. Like, whoa, that was kind of an uneasy transition.
Yeah.
But
Richard Brake is a great character actor.
He is, and now a lot of people want to see him play Freddy. I'm like, I know, I get it, but he's not that young anymore. He wouldn't be able to play him very long, probably, at the rate they make movies these days. It's not, they don't shit out movies one a year anymore. I don't think it's a good idea.
Still not the worst choice I've heard.
No, I've heard some really, really bad ones, but I'm in the Dale Midkiff camp for Freddy.
Dale Midkiff?
I'm joking. Yeah, that was the first name that popped in my head, literally, because he was in what's the name of that movie? Dr. Jekyll and Ms. Hyde. You ever see that?
Is that the one with Sean Young is in that?
I don't know if it's Sean Young, but like he takes the potion and becomes a woman.
I'm pretty sure it was Sean Young.
I think it was. I can't remember offhand.
I thought I don't know. I see people make fun of his performance at Pet Sematary, but I thought he was really good.
What was wrong with his performance?
I don't know.
I really liked it. I mean, that scene when Gage dies eats me up inside every time I fucking see it. You know?
Yeah. That movie fucked me up for a while when my kids were born.
Yeah. See, it never really had that effect on me. Because I guess because I had seen it so many times, but even when I was a kid, when that came out, my brother was about Gage's age. So it kind of did get me early on, because if I lost my little brother at the time, well, he's still my little brother, but you know what I mean? When he was one, I could kind of feel how Ellie felt for sure, but the Dale Midkiff when he screams, you feel that shit, and he may not, he kind of was a stone cold type of actor a little bit in ways, but like he's a doctor, they're moving. There's a lot that you could put into this, and you know, it seems like he's got problems with Rachel's family. They had to move away from all that. Rachel seems like kind of a basket case. I mean, there's a lot going on with the Creed family in that movie, and they the first day at the job, he fucking sees a kid's brains, and then all of a sudden there's a ghost, and then the cat dies, and then this and that. There's like how's he supposed to be, throughout the movie? I thought it was fine. I like him. I like that movie quite a bit. Honestly, thought like, why haven't I seen more of him? And I can only think of that Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde movie, and he was in Love Potion #9. Those are the only things I can remember seeing him in.
Holy shit, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah. I remember there's a scene where he's got like this like fur coat thing on or something like that, and he looks like a straight up pimp daddy. That movie, I like that movie. That movie's hilarious. Love Potion #9.
I haven't seen that since I was a kid, man.
Oh man, dude, my friend Tita, she's like, "Do you have Love Potion #9 on DVD?" And I was like, "Yeah, I believe I do," and I did, and I was like, "I want to watch this now." It's such a fun movie. It's silly. I like that they're trying these love potions out on monkeys, and then at one point, one of the monkeys starts humping the cage next to it because the love potion's working. It's just a silly, fun movie. And I like, and they got two beautiful people to play nerdy characters, Tate Donovan and Sandra Bullock. And like Sandra Bullock, they gave her like a unibrow and really bad hair and like a gap in her teeth and glasses, of course, because glasses make girls and boys look like nerds. And Tate Donovan, who dated Jennifer Aniston, was a nerdy professor guy. It's like, yeah, okay, like, okay, yeah, they're dorky people who have no chance of getting love. Come on. Anyway, I like that movie. Watch it again. It's fun. It's fun. Then watch Miss Congeniality.
I'm going to quote Captain America here and say, no, I don't think I will.
Watch Love Potion #9. It's fun. You're going to love it. I think your kids will like it too. It's fun. And then you get that whole thing when the hooker gets and she steals a stereo, and eventually all these guys are chasing her around. It's a good, silly, early 90s comedy.
It's, I will
and
say,
it's the first topic on Rage of RAYZOR podcast. So.
I would say it would be tough for me to get my kids to watch anything with me.
I don't know, man. I think it's something that needs to be done these days. Like Reynolds, when I was watching New Year's Evil, he's like, "Can I go upstairs?" I was like, "Watch a half an hour. If you think it's just really bad, tell me why, and then you can go upstairs." And about half an hour in, he looks at his phone. He's like, "It's been a half an hour." I pause the movie. It says, 30 minutes or whatever. And I was like, "All right, you don't want to watch it?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Have you been watching it?" I was like, "Okay, go upstairs." That's it. Good enough for me. Have you been watching it? So, but I like trying to show them new things, new movies, and like Reynolds is big on Superman right now, and he's absolutely in love with Superman 3, and and he wants to watch Superman Returns. It's all because of Smallville, because we've been watching Smallville, so he's all into it, and I got him a nice looking like Superman statue thing for Christmas that he really likes.
Have you guys started Superman and Lois yet?
No, we got to finish Smallville first.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna do Smallville first, and then he requested Arrow after that. So it might be a while before we get to. They might be on season 5 by the time we get to Superman and Lois.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna take. Well, we're halfway through season 6 of Smallville, so he loves Smallville. He's already asking if we can go find Tom Welling so he can meet him and Michael Rosenbaum. So I'm like, absolutely, we can, because I want to meet him too. Anyway, that's way off topic. All right, so let's wrap this shit up for the night. It's 11 o'clock your time. It's 10 o'clock my time. It's super late on the West Coast. Don't forget the Horror Syndicate discourse. We are talking about the 25 in our opinion, best horror movies of 2022 on Wednesday. Seth and the Supernatural Syndicate are doing episode number 3 of season 1, which is called
Dead in the Water.
Dead. Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one almost made me stop watching the show.
Oh, really? Yeah.
3 episodes in, I'm like, oh, Amy Acker's in this from Buffy, and then I watched the episode. I was like, ugh, this isn't very good. There were some good scenes with Dean in it. I remember it really well, but overall, it's just kind of a dud. I think the 8th episode was another one that I didn't like. I'd have to look, but there was another one in there that we got to. I was like, man, they're just not doing it. Or no, it was the one on the plane. The
Oh, see, I like that
whatever.
one.
I
Phantom
didn't
Traveler?
like that one. It reminded me of that. Not Unsolved Mysteries with William Shatner. You know, I'm talking Twilight Zone.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it was okay, but there were like 3 or 4 early episodes I didn't care for, and then I think I want to say episode 11 or 12 when they got to the first Skinwalker episode. That really drew me back in. It's in St. Louis, which is where I am essentially, and then second of all, it was one of those you didn't know who was who because the Skinwalker could shapeshift into just about anybody, you know. And I like the scene where the Skinwalker opens up the trunk and sees all the weapons. Are like, oh, this was a good episode. But anyway, yeah. So Supernatural Syndicate, the Ghost Water one is up next, and Supernatural. I mean, Jesus, the Horror Syndicate Discourse show, our Wednesday show that we are moving into season 4 after this next episode. We'll finish up season 3 with the top 25 of 2022. And then next Friday, Seth and I are talking about Friday the 13th 5, A New Beginning, starring the Roy Burns. Hashtag Roy Burns lives. I love Roy. You love Roy. We all love Roy.
Well, if that's the way you feel about it, forget it. Just forget it. But I think you're really out of line.
Yeah, so I'm excited about talking about this one because it's almost, I feel like you and I are going to be most of the time defending on why Friday the 13th 5 is actually good. Because I like Friday the 13th 5 quite a bit.
Me too.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fun episode. The following week we'll be doing Jason Lives, and then we'll do that Versus episode, and we'll get back on it with 7, 8, 9, or well, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, and then we'll do the ranking. Well, I guess we should do Freddy versus Jason, right?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, so because that's got to be a part of the ranking. So yeah, we've got a lot going on in the next few weeks. I believe we are doing the Scream movies after, which one thing that the Scream movies lack are boobs. No naked boobs in those movies. Disappointing. And that's, why I said it. But and then I think I mentioned that I'd like to do Elm Street after that, but we may just put it to a vote. Shot.
Don't get a Howlin' episode.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so let's do that. So let me look at the schedule because I want to do, because when we do the Scream episodes, we're going to do Scream 6 also. And then we're going to have 6 Scream movies to rank. And it's not going to be as obvious because like after Scream 5 came out, I felt like there's an obvious ranking there. For me anyway, it was 3, 5, 4, 2, 1. I think you have 2 and 1 flipped because you're a fucking edgelord.
I'm a total edgelord.
Yeah, you're an edgelord. It's the same thing with Child's Play. Edgelord, Child's. Anyway. Now I can see you. It's like a toss up between 1 and 2. 1 is iconic as fuck, and you wouldn't have 1 without 2. But 2 has got some really great scenes. Randy's death was awesome. I love that scene. Him going through the movies like we talked about earlier, actually. And then, you'll never get the girl. Fuck you! And that was, Billy Loomis. So yeah, and one of the things I'd like to do is if I can figure out a way to do it is try to break down who kills who in each movie. which killer kills each, because that's, I know there's like a wiki for that or something like that. Like a Wikipedia thing, but it's like, I think there's a certain way to figure it out. And I think Billy ends up killing most of them, if I'm not mistaken. But same thing. I think Mickey kills the bulk of them in Scream 2 because he's kind of like, he's like Darth Vader to Debbie Salt, her Palpatine, she's the one puppet master pulling the strings. And then 3, supposedly it's only Roman. And then 4, man, 4 blew me away. I'm not gonna lie. When I didn't even go see it in the theater because I was like, man, Scream 4 for real. Here we are, 10, 11 years later. And I when I got it on DVD, I like, first of all, that's when I fell in love with what's her name, Emma Roberts. I was like, I love this chick, and I've seen her in so many other things, and I really like her a lot. Scream Queens was a lot of fun. She's in American Horror Story, which I love, and yeah, so I and Kirby. I like that character a lot. It's like she's the hottest chick ever, and it's not for her looks. It's because of her knowledge of horror movies. So yeah, I like Scream 4. I'm looking forward to delving into the Scream movies because we did a show on Discourse of all of them, I think, didn't we? Or just was it the first one?
I think we just covered the first one.
Yeah, we should have covered all of them because it's one of those series that, like we said, is, and we didn't even cover the 5th one last year. It's just one of those series that none of them, there's not really a weak one there, and 3 would be the obvious weak one, but I still really enjoy it. So I enjoy the additions into the cast in that one of the detectives. Those guys were good, and Patrick Dempsey was really great, and then the other guy was funny.
Yeah.
He was in a movie called Stab. He got stabbed.
I was just gonna say that line.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. It's good stuff. But so yeah, I mean, we got a lot planned for the Up All Night show for Friday nights. So stick with us. We're gonna do a lot of stuff. I don't give a shit how much we've talked about Halloween. We're gonna do the Halloween movies, each and every one of them, and leading up to October and to October. But we're gonna do it reverse. So we're gonna start with Halloween Ends and then go through and finish on the last Friday before Halloween with the immortal John Carpenter classic Halloween. That's what I want to do. So I got to figure out how to schedule everything up to that point. So.
Sounds good.
Probably get some Phantasm in there too.
Yes, definitely.
I know. Listen, it doesn't fall on deaf ears, and you know this. So I just got to figure the schedule out because, I want it's hard to schedule stuff sometimes, especially with Discourse, because like something comes up. Oh, let's talk about that. This I'd like to keep the schedule rolling so we know what we're. That's why I want to do it by series. And once in a while do individual movies or the versus episodes. Like, we could do Halloween 5 versus Halloween Resurrection. Which one's worse?
No, thank you.
No, which one would you want? Like, okay, hypothetically, which one would you want to speak for?
If I was to defend between those two,
I know it's 5, probably, right?
It would be 5, or I would probably just select to jump off a mountain top.
I would select to get a kick to the face by Freddy.
Yeah.
And that's show business.
I'd rather get hit in the face with a sock full of used condoms than defend Resurrection.
I'll defend it.
It was just a joke. Don't do it.
I know I totally could defend that movie. I watch it and I know how bad it is, but it's still watchable to me. So
some people love it. I have a couple of friends who love it.
Yeah. Well, an interesting show could be H2O versus 2018.
That would be a good one.
Yeah. Or we can get a third person and do H2O versus 2018 versus 4. The 3, that's where the timelines diverge, is after 2 generally. I mean, 2018 is after the first movie, but still, I think that would be kind of fun because what we could do is get Renee Rivas in here to defend H2O because I hate that movie. I'll defend either one of. You can do 2018. I'll do Halloween 4. because I know you like Halloween 2018 more than I do. So
Yeah,
I
but
know you want 4 because of Loomis, but I'm just
yeah, exactly. You're taking the best one, you cheap fuck.
you're hunting it, aren't you? I mean, like I could do 2018. I could. I like it enough. It's just I prefer 4. 2018 is kind of not my cup of tea. Luke and no, we need somebody to do H2O if we did something like that. How about a 3-way? Um. Anyway, yeah, I want to come up with some more of the versus episodes because I think we'll see how it goes with the Friday the 13th one because if it gets too heated up in this bitch, we're gonna have to cut it off. But I don't think it will. I think it'll be fun because I know how much you love Part 4, and you know I like Part 4 and have respect for it. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
My nephew Seth is 10, and my brother-in-law Jake, who I'm really close with, he's letting Seth watch the Friday the 13th for the first time. The only one he'd seen is Jason Lives because it's the most family friendly out of all of them.
Yeah.
But he I think he just finished Jason Goes to Hell. He says that's the worst one. And I asked him, well, which one's the best one? He said Friday the 13th Part 3, and I was like, you're not my nephew anymore. And he just smiles. He's like, what? And I'm like, I can't even talk to you now. He's like, oh, I was gonna see if you could give me the Friday the 13th 3 figure. I was like, never.
That would be another good versus one.
What?
Is Silver Bullet's your favorite werewolf movie, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So Silver Bullet versus American Werewolf in London.
No, there's no arguing that though, because I can put favorite and best and be, I mean it'd be more likely to do something like because I know American Werewolf in London's the best or best werewolf movie, and I love it. I have no issues with that movie, but The Howling versus Silver Bullet might be fun.
We should do that.
Yeah. Because now the thing is, I would be kind of torn because I love The Howling quite a bit, and yeah, and I love Silver Bullet so much. And again, I must love family friendly things because Silver Bullet is very family friendly versus The Howling.
Oh,
I mean, The Howling has tits in it.
Yeah.
Silver Bullet, none. I mean, I love Silver Bullet though. I mean, that'd be a fun one. I know you're. Well, what about I like Bad Moon. I
Bad
like
Moon's
that
great.
movie. But what about Bad Moon versus Late Phases or something like that? Because I like both of those about the same.
I love both of those too. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot we could do. How about this? The Howling 2. I'll take that. You take Marsupials.
Yes. Let's do that.
Howling is so boring. Unpopular opinion. That is unpopular.
It is a little on the slow pace side, but
what the hell's happening? There we go. Silver Bullet is great. I love Silver Bullet. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can do with this show. Where Discourse is more about like dissecting the films. So if you're like big into film and how it's made, and the background on it, that's what that show is on Wednesdays. This is just stupid fun. We talk about whatever we want and just having a good time. Trying to build the channel, trying to build an audience with this show, the Supernatural Syndicate, and then Discourse. Anyway, so to wrap it up, I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. I think it's going to be a great year in 2023. Yeah, Seth thinks so too. And I think you need to try to grow a beard like Ellis. Call everybody Boogie.
I should.
Yeah.
I should try to model my whole presence after Ellis.
You should. Get some Coke, pour in a nice little glass. So to recap, we prefer Terror Train over New Year's Evil overall, and not in just slash score, but in our personal views. But the slash score for New Year's Evil is 47%, and that's between the two of us. And for Terror Train, we got you 56%. Sorry that we did not cover those movies as much. Um, I was stupid and said, let's do it. I feel good about 2023. I feel average. I never like, I always have these like, I want to accomplish so much this next year. And it's almost like, what's the point? It's just another number up. But like, I know I was talking to my comic partner, Jay, and we want to get some Dragonfly comics pushed out so we can get to issue 6, because issue 6 is likely going to have another, our new writer, and he's a good one. And then we're gonna do Operation Eclipse number 5 is gonna kill that arc, not kill it, but end it. And the cover is the best fucking cover of any comic I've ever seen, especially independent. And then, which I just posted on my Facebook page. You saw it, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's dynamic. It's hanging on my wall in the living room. It's a 24 by 36 poster in my living room. And then Stellar Odyssey, we're gonna try to finish that up, so because we got another guy who's looking to write that, and there's a couple new artists we're looking at. It's just there's a lot of possibility for comics. The Horror Syndicate should eclipse the 25,000 follower mark sometime next year. Yeah, it's going to be another good year for horror. I think there's a few movies that I'm looking forward to, and I know they're going to be probably a shit ton thrown up on Shudder too. So, and Hulu. Hulu actually ends up doing well for horror, in my opinion. So anyway, Seth, anything else you wanna say before we end this episode?
Yeah, I mean, Happy New Year's, everyone, and Evil dies tonight.
I thought we were done with that.
Nope.
I think I'm gonna finish my night off by looking at some boobies. Anyway, no. Anyway, have a great New Year's. Be safe out there, because we want you back watching the Horror Syndicate Discourse, Supernatural Syndicate, and Up All Night, which we do every Friday, of course. Happy New Year, everyone, and we'll see you next year. Oh, no, I got one last thing. I think tomorrow I'm going to do, I have all these movies over here, 2 stacks, and I used to do haul videos. I think I'm going to do a live video showing off my haul for the year. Like, oh, look, I got this, and I got this. Yeah, this is a good movie. By the way, have you seen Cat People?
I haven't. I own that too. I need to watch it.
Good movie. Watch it. Maybe we should do that one sometime.
Yeah.
We may actually end up doing that on Discourse at some point. Shucks. Anyway, Happy New Year. I might do that sometime tomorrow. If not, then I'll never do it again. So, hey, Jay, is it too late for a meeting? Just saying. Anyway, have a great evening and be safe this New Year's. We'll talk to you on the other side, yatch.